a CSV file
Mm,
into a multi-sheet file, Excel file.
mm,
So what I do, I just upload, yeah, this file and customize it as a gender. So what is the logic here? So first, uh, the male gender is going on the sheet number one, female gender and going to the sheet number two, and at to eligibility going to the sheet number three. So at that scenario, it's work. So I got this kind of output. So all the male gender here, female here, and to eligibility here. So when I reverse this scenario into the, I here I took a file into the XLS as a, yeah, multi-sheet. So when when I use this file also, and when I use the Excel, yeah, parser here for the seat in index 0, and seat index 1 for the female, and seat index 2 for the eligibility. So after, yeah, that I use the union snap to combine all this gender into a single sheet. Okay. So when I combine, it's not into a sorting order. As so, what I do, I use a short snap here, and customize is ID is in ascending order. So here at, as of now, I'm not, yeah, going to, yeah, take into input here. And yeah, before that I got like this kind of output here. So it's a issue for me. What it is not shorting the IDs here. So it's the first case, and as of now it's not uh, give it any output. It's showing totally, yeah, yeah, blank here. In short, you can see here output is zero.
mm. Can
So
you
what
close?
the, yeah,
Click on that. Union output green color.
okay, okay,
After that,
green
there
color,
is this empty space. Click on that.
yeah,
No, no, not
here's
this.
some,
No, no, close it.
okay, okay, empty space here. Okay, it's not connected. Okay, so just do it, yeah. So here I got output. It's showing like, yeah, this 1, 10, 100. It is not sorting as mean. It is sorting something alphabetical order. I think it's a one, and after it is jump on the second.
It based on the numbers and characters actually. Convert everything to a number that ID that you have done. After union, use mapper, okay, and map the IDs and
Okay,
convert it into passing and then sort it out. Okay,
okay, okay,
yeah,
okay. I will, yeah, do that.
right. Okay,
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
thank you. Mm, any other questions, team? Are we trying to develop any pipelines in your free time, or are we doing any research on anything? Okay. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes,
Yeah.
Manoj.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Okay. So basically, till now, what we have discussed is what if the source is a single source, And if we want to copy it to multiple destinations, we have used routers and copies. If there is any data validation or data checks that we have to do, we have used router. And otherwise, we have used copies, binary copies, and everything to copy it to multiple destinations, right? It's like one to many, one source and multiple destinations. Correct? That's what we have discussed. So, what if our requirement is this time get the data from multiple source, okay, multiple source files or multiple systems, and push the data into a single destination. Okay, our present requirement or the task that has been assigned to us is, till now the things that we have done, those are fine, but now a customer has asked us to enhance our logic to have an additional source. Okay, and after that uh, push the details into the target as a single destination. Okay, that is our scenario now. So I will change my pipeline name. Push source data to single target. Okay, I will filter and then accept and then formatter and then filter. I will try and upload any one of the file. Okay, save it. The common multiple source data to single destination.csv. Okay, this is my normal logic. How I do. I'm not changing any formattings and everything. This is how I do basically. Right? Excuse me. Sorry. So now my requirement or the task assigned to me is to get the data from multiple source systems. So in that sense, what I would do is I will take the other source as well. In this case, let's assume this is also a file. Okay, I'm taking this file. Okay, this should be, or this would be a different file, but for our example, I'm taking this file that we have generated in our earlier sessions. Okay, so this is one, the data might be same. Just assume that this is one source system and this is other source system. Okay, and after that CSV. So I'm not changing the contents here also. Now, if we generally design a pipeline, what we will do generally, we will just do it like this, right? This is one target, one source, one target, one source, one target. But we might think that we are doing it, or we are writing it, the different data into a same file. See here the same file, here the name of the file is also same. But is this right? Tell me. We have data coming from one file and we have another data coming from the other file, and we are writing it to a single destination, right? Because the file name is same. Do you think this is a correct logic, or is there any fault? Anyone? So did I do anything wrong? I said single source, multiple source. If you can see, the file names are different. and I said single target. See, file name is also same here, right? Targets are same. Don't refer to the snaps. Snaps might be multiple, but refer to the content of a file, of a snap. So here the file name is different, file name is different. This means different. Here the file name is same, here the file name is same. It is same file name. So if I do like this, will I be able to achieve my task that customer has assigned me, that read the data from multiple sources and push the contents to a single destination? Will I be able to do it? Is there any wrong in this? I want answers actually.
I think it's going to overwrite at this file when
Mhm.
the same name exists. So it is wrong.
Yeah. So basically, this is this way. If you do it, this is correct, but it is wrong because, but it is also wrong because we have the file action as override here. Okay. If we have the file action as override, what it will do is maybe this pipeline will complete or this pipeline will complete. What it will do is it will override the contents of one file to another. But our task is to, what is our task? Our task is to combine the contents of two source systems and make a single destination, right? That is our task. But if we do it like this, we might assume that this is correct because we are taking the file from single source, sorry, multiple source and a single destination. We might think this is correct, but the main problem here is, if as we have this file action as override, we might be able to overwrite the contents of one file to another file. The file will be there will be no problem. Let's say there are 100 records coming up, 100 records coming up. What should be the final count in this file writer, or I mean file destination file? 200, right? Because we want to combine the data of two sources and push it into the destination. But the problem here, what happened is, as we have this overwrite action, so this is gonna overwrite the contents of one file to another. So the final count will be 100, mostly 100, because let's say if this pipeline has completed first, this data will be overwritten by this data will be overwritten by this, or let's say if this has completed, this data will be overwritten by this. So this is not a correct way that we basically do. We might think theoretically that this is possible because that's what I said as per the task. So to eliminate these sort of things, what we do is we basically has to combine the data, right? We basically has to combine the data into the target, or form the data to the target system, right? What we basically do is we have a couple of snaps where we can join, I mean, where we can combine the data. So one thing is we will be using a join snap where we can, as the name suggests, we can join multiple destination, multiple source and make a single target. See, there are multiple sources that we can combine here. There are, if we can go to views, there are infinite number that we can, then we can use it as an input, but the output is always one. If you can see, minimum is one, maximum is one. There will be only output. It suggests that we can combine any number of sources or any number of snaps to this as an input, and it will give you a single output. This is one thing. And the other thing is use union, right? This also has the same functionality, like, you know, give the or use n number of inputs and provide only single output. What do I mean by n number of inputs? Any number of inputs coming from source. So by, I mean, by the customer task, that the task given by the customer, by that we can use, or we understand that we might use any one of these two snaps, right? Either I can use join, either I can use union. So my question here is, or we might have a question that, okay, what should we use now? right? What should we use now? Which snap should we use? Basically, the purpose of the union is to combine the records where the source, there are multiple sources, right? Multiple sources should have the same column name. Okay, I'm reiterating. If the multiple sources has same column names coming up, then we should be going for a union. If there are multiple sources and the columns of that file or the columns in that file or in the multiple sources has the same name, then we will be going to the union. Union merges or combines the document based on the columns. If there are different columns from this to this, don't go for union because the data will not be the way that is expected. Okay, whenever the columns in source in any number of source systems are same, then go for the union. Okay, you might have question also. What if I have the same columns, but if I want to go for the join? Yes, you can do it as well. The only thing is you should not go for union when the columns of the source systems, okay, when the multiple source systems are there and the columns are different, you should not go for union because the expected data will not be there as you expect, or the outcome of the file is not as per your expectation or the customer requirement. So that is one red flag we have to remember, that whenever the same columns are available between multiple source systems, then we should go for union. We can also go for join based on certain conditions. I will discuss that. So first we will try and use union in our pipeline, then we will go and discuss join. Okay, what I will do is just keep an eye on the pipeline. I have removed this. Okay, and what I will be doing is I will be using a union here, which is why I am using the union here. The file that I have used sorted employees has the same columns because this is the file we are changing, but we have not added any extra column to this, right? And at the same time, I am using updated employees. If I see till department ID, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 columns are there. And if I compare here with this, this has a different set. So let me just go and use this one. Okay, this looks same. I mean, the files are same in columns. So if I validate it now, so I don't have to change anything because union will not have any conditions. Only the settings, if you open the settings, there will be nothing. Only you can have these three. You already know what is this, and you know what is info and what is views. You might differentiate accordingly. So you don't have to worry about any settings in the union because there are none. The only thing that we need to remember is whenever the columns from different sources are same, we will be using a union. Here the purpose is merge input documents into a single output stream. That's what its purpose is. Okay, if I just go and validate, it has combined me the number of records. Okay, as the columns are same here, what I will do is I will perform a sort. I will perform a sort based on employee ID. Then we will be able to understand it correctly. How many records, how many duplicate records are there? Okay. if you see 100 has came up 2 times because source 1 and source 2 has the different same data set, right? Different file names and the same data set. That's where we see the data of Steven coming up 2 times or a couple of times only because the source system has the same data. But in a case where the columns are same but the data is different, that is the actual use case. But for our example, we have taken the same files, I mean different file names but the same data. Okay, we might have taken any other file, but for our example purpose, we have used the same files. Make sense? Okay, this is how it does. It will just basically combine the inputs based on the columns. Columns should be same. Okay, columns should be same. That's what we have to remember. Any questions on the union?
Sir, hello.
Yeah, please.
Sir, we can use either of the two. I mean, union and join.
Yeah, we can use any of them, but for now we are discussing only union. So I will be discussing about the join as well. So do you have any questions on union? How do we do? Did you understand correctly that why do we use union at any, I mean, at what case do we need to use union? Team, question to you all. Are we able to understand union?
Yes, ma'am.
Does someone has a question?
Sir, please tell me, sir, we can add input number of inputs in union.
Yeah, we can add many number of inputs.
Oh, okay.
So if I want to increase, I can increase like this. Okay.
Then I can uh, merge
Add.
multiple files by using union.
Yeah. You can combine multiple sources.
Okay.
That's what the purpose is. Purpose of the union is to combine multiple source and give the single documents or a combined documents.
Yes, sir. I
One thing we need
understand.
to remember is the columns should be in a way that is expected. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So on union, task to everyone is perform this action or just try it out the way that I have done it. And the task for you all is try with the different columns. I said you will be seeing a different output, not the expected one. In the sense, the expected output will be there are 11 columns here, 11 columns here, right? The output should also contain 11 columns, but data should be merged. See here, there are 11 columns or something, maybe 10 if I'm wrong. So that column should not be increased. Okay, column should not be increased, column should be same, and the data should be combined. So that is the actual purpose or how it will work. That is the basic thing. Okay, so the point here is try it out. That's your task with a different file, and the data should be different. Or maybe you don't worry about the data, just change the column names and see how it behaves, and let me know tomorrow what is the what do you identify there. I mean, did you identify anything? What is the difference if the columns are different? What union is doing? Why did I say that we have to use the same column names? Otherwise it will not be in an expected format, or that will be a failure. Okay, make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now, as I said, there is another option also, which is join. Okay, this can also combine. If we go to purpose, join two or more document streams. In the sense, it will just join or combine or merge the input documents to perform an action based on certain conditions that we have given here, and then give you the output. So basically join is nothing but, if you know SQL, if you know the database query, how to write, you might have learned about inner joins, left joins, and outer joins, right? So this join performs the same way based on the condition that we have select, or the join type that we have select here. There are four actions that we can perform here. One is inner join, and the second is left outer join, and the third one is outer join, and the merge is something, it's like, just combine. I mean, don't take or don't consider anything, just combine, don't do anything. Okay, that is like that. So if I say what is inner join, there will be multiple columns or a single column from multiple source systems, which we will be using here in left path and right path, okay, to join the number of documents or join the complete document set. And by joining that, it will be combined into a single destination or single output. So if there are multiple inputs, like the way we have done with union, the join, what it will do is, it will take those multiple inputs to this input views, and then in the join parts, what we have to provide is, from the left side, what is the unique column, provide here, and from the right side, what is the unique column that we have to provide here. And based on those two columns, we will be joining based on some unique column. Let's say $ID from the source, from the employees, is the unique ID that is coming up. Okay, and $ID should be used to combine the multiple sources. Okay, and then give you the result into a single output document to push into the target. Okay, that is the purpose. If I use inner join, if the left path in the sense, this is the left path and this is the right path, always remember that the top path is always the left path and the below one is always the right path. Okay, this is the left path and this is the right path. So in the join, from the left side, so if I remove this, if I just put it out here without any modifications, if I just validate it, it will fail, because there are mandatory fields. What is the mandatory field here? I did not provide the left path, I did not provide the right path. Okay, this is what it is saying, empty join paths are empty. So if I select inner and I want to join based on my IDs, if I click on the drop down, I mean, I have to toggle it, and then click on the drop down. This is the employee ID. And from the left side also, I mean, from the right side, click on the drop down, there will be employee ID. And then don't worry about the other things, I will discuss it. So I have kept the join type as inner, and I have select the unique column that I have from the sources. Okay, I'm reiterating things. We should have an unique column, okay, that we should identify from the source. If there are multiple sources, we have to identify from the multiple sources as well. I believe for this employee file, employee ID is the unique ID. So then I will be using those employee IDs. I am using those employee IDs. Okay, and then save it. So what it will do is, it will check employee ID from the left path and it will check employee ID from the right path. It will try to combine or check whether, let's say, there is 100 from the left path. It will try and check if there is 100 in the right view or not. Right view in the sense, the other source system, does it has 100 or not? If it has 100, then only it will give you the output. That's what the inner join means. Left and right path data should be matched, then only there will be an output. Otherwise there will be no output from this snap. That's what inner join does. Inner join checks for both right and left path data, if there is a combination, right? If the data matches, then only it will go and give you the data. If I just go and validate, it has failed again. Why it has failed again? Why it has failed? Earlier it has failed because I have not provided the join paths, but still it is failing. Why? Here it has given the reason: fail to perform join operation because data is not in a sorting order. Why it is checking for sorting order? Because there is this option called sorted streams, right? If you can see in the sort snap, there is a sorting option. Likewise in the join also, it is expecting the data should be in sorted stream, in some of the sorted stream. But by default, SnapLogic has given this option of keeping the records in an ascending order. If I don't want this, what I will do is I will keep the sorting order to the unsorted. I will change the sorting stream to unsorted and save it and then validate it. Okay, now it has given me the output because I have told the snap to unsorted. I mean, the data from two input views should will be in a format, will be in a unsorted way. So don't worry about the sorting order, just give me the results. That's what I said to the snap. That's where I can select any one of these. If I believe that the data is coming up in an ascending order, then I will be putting the ascending order here, otherwise descending or unsorted. Unsorted, we won't basically use most of the times, 90% of the times, we will be using any one of these two because we don't want to perform a data join or the join on multiple data streams using unsorted. Unsorted is not the one that we basically use in the real time. We will be using both of these, but you might think that we are getting a failure. I will let you know what we have to done for that. But for now, you can have this also. We can use this option also to perform the join. Okay, then save it and then validate it. Now it has provided me the results. Now it will be joined, the data will be joined, and if you see the 100, it has given me only one record. If you see one record, and if you see from the right side, so the data will be combined from left to right, correct? So if I see this 100th record, the record number 100, if I just go to my right, see the data has been combined. The data has been combined to the right side of the left side data. Till here, department ID, this is the right side, sorry, left side data, till department ID. From input 1 underscore employee ID, this is the right data, right? So what it has done is, for now the data is same. It has identified that 100 record, data with 100 is there, right? What it has done is, it has added that. Why it has given me that input underscore employee ID? It should give us only employee ID, correct? The columns in the right path is only employee ID, sorry, only employee ID, not the input 1 underscore employee ID, right? We know that. But why it is giving me input 1 underscore employee ID? It's because that to maintain the uniqueness of the columns, SnapLogic by itself is appending the path. It's views. In views, we are defining the view name, right? It is adding the view name in front prior or prefixing it with the input name underscore the actual column coming up from the source file. So that is why it is giving us this input 1 underscore employee ID. Let's say if the column names are different from each file, from source 1 to source 2, in the sense multiple source systems, then there won't be input 1, because if and only if the data or the columns should be different. If the columns are different, there will be no input 1 underscore 1 appended to the columns. But if the data has the same column name, then we will, SnapLogic by itself appends this input one underscore one employee ID, input one underscore to the actual column name. Likewise, you can see if for every column, the input one has been added. It's only because that the column names from two source systems are same. Then only it will go and write this or append this input one underscore to the actual column name that is there from the right path. If the data or the column in the left path is same to the right path, then only it will do like this. Otherwise, it will give you the exact column names that are there in the files from source to source. I mean, from one source to another source, it will give you the same column names. Okay. So now we have used the inner join. We have used the inner join. In this, we have selected the unique column as employee ID. We have identified employee ID as a unique column, and we have put the sorted streams. Therein, it was able to give us this result. It was able to give us this result where 100 is matching with another 100. Okay, but the data might be same. Okay, and if we see the other options here, null greater than, unmatched data error view, null greater than, and null safe access, we have already discussed in it in the short snap. So if you can go to our previous snap, identify what is the thing, that will be the I mean, you will be able to see that in that session. So I will let you know what is this unmatched data to error view. I have put this inner join here, right? So I said if there is a match between left path to the right path, then only it will give you the output. Otherwise, it won't be giving you any output. Excuse me. Right? That's what the basic use case of join, inner join basically. So, but for some reason, if the data is not matching also, I want to see the output or what is the exact thing that is happening, why the data is not being able to join. Then I have this option. Whenever there is inner join selected, I can select this checkbox unmatched data to error view. In the sense, the data which is not matched in the columns that are being selected here, left and right path, if the data in those two columns are not matching, push those data into the error view. What do I mean by error view? If I go to views, when the error occurs, there are three options we have already discussed. So if I have selected route error data to error view, I have to select this because unmatched data to error view, it has to go to the error view. Route error data to the error view, then save it. See, the snap will look like this. What I have done, I have clicked this option, and in the views, I have gone to route error data to error view. This option will be available for every snap, and it is not mandatory that we have to use. When this option is enabled in join, then only we have to use this error view. No, it's not like that. For every snap, it will be there. If I go to file writer, if I use this, there will be an option that will be opened out here. Okay, so this is an error view, but by using this option, we will be able to send the unmatched data to this view. Okay, if I just validate, if you see, there are few records that has came up. Okay, these are three records. These are the three records that has came up because this is not able to join with the data that is there with the left or right. These three records are not able to join because the data is not there. 198, 199, 200. So if we go and see here, do we have 198, 199, 200 here? Yes. But if we go and see here, there is no 198, 199, 200. If you see here, there is no 198, 199, 200. right? Because we have removed those columns for some data validation. So that the join snap is unable to join that because left path has the data but right path doesn't have the data, wherein it has sent those records to the error view. Okay, these three records are there in the left side but not on the right side. Make sense? Are we able to understand this option here? Null greater than null safe access, you already know. You can go to your previous sessions and check what is this option here. Okay. Available memory threshold, don't worry about it. This is something on the CPU and memory percentage. How much percentage of memory this snap has to be used. Whenever there is an operations to join or hold within the memory, you will be able to see this option. This defines that what percentage of CPU and memory should this snap use when it is able to join or when it is performing a join. Okay, we can handle that by giving 10% or 20%, but by default it is 20%. It is okay to keep it as is, don't change anything. But in certain cases where it is consuming a lot of memory, if you think, you can reduce the number to 10, wherein it will only consume 10% of your CPU and memory. Okay, because join is something performing within the memory where it will require RAM and memory of your Snaplex. So then the memory, if you don't manage your memory correctly and the input data is very high, then in that case the CPU and RAM percentage will increase, and there will be no space to execute the pipelines. Then no pipeline will get executed in that case, because the CPU and the memory is, it might transfer the data from one node to another node based on load balancing, but that is different use case. If this goes like that, the other nodes will also be done, or the memory on that will also be consumed totally. Then the Snaplex or the SnapLogic pipeline will fail every time based on the memory memory issue. That's where it is okay to keep it as is by default 20%. But if you think the data is coming up in a huge numbers, and if you want to reduce the number of the percentage of CPU and RAM it has to use, you can reduce. But the time of execution will vary from 20% to 10%, because we are only allocating 10% of memory and CPU for the complete data set. We might need more, but keeping it in mind in the CPU and memory that we want to have for the other pipelines, we have reduced it to 10, maybe in future case. Okay, but just remember that keep it as is, don't change anything. If there is a scenario where you have to change it, try to reduce it, because increasing it will definitely lead it to SnapLogic pipeline failures, because the memory or CPU will not be available for that. Make sense? This is the threshold. And snap execution, you already know, right? Any questions on this till now? We have discussed inner join, and we have to identify two unique columns from the input. Don't worry about this. This is nothing. Okay. It will give you an option which is the right input, and as there is only one right input, it is only giving us input one. Let's say if there is another output also, whether in another input also, in that case it will give us an option to select which is the one that I have to consider here for the join. Input 2 does not contain anything, so we cannot select that. We have to select the input 1 because input 1 has the data source attached. Input 2 does not have any source attached, so it will not work. So we need input 1. So we have to use that when there are multiple sources, in the sense more than 2 sources. Then you have to open the input view, and then you can change the input view here also to tell the snap or to inform the snap that perform the join on these two columns, one from left path and the other one, the right path should be input 2. Likewise, from 1 to 3, 1 to 2. Based on this, we can inform the snap to perform the join operation accordingly. Make sense? Any questions on this? On the inner join itself, we have 3 more left, but on the inner join itself, do we have any questions?
Yes, Manoj. When we join the left yeah part to the right path, it is showing some kuch input uh, into the output file. It's right. Is you showing into the table format. It is showing as an input,
Input
right?
1 and 4, yeah.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
can we change as those name as our customer requirement?
Mm, uh, yeah, question to you itself. Can we change?
Yeah, I I don't think so. So
We can change. Did we I mean, we have discussed already a snap where we can change the names.
okay, so for the changing the output name, we have to add snap also here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think is a yeah mapper.
yes. So
Okay.
after the join snap, we have to use the mapper and
Hmm.
join this, have this and names, remove the names or add the names according to our customer.
Hmm. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Any other questions we have? Are we able to identify or understand what is join here? After mapper, if there is any other snap we will be using most of the times is join, because there will be a requirement for you definitely that you have to get the data from multiple systems. You will not be using union most of the times, or only 50% of the times in your total development time you will be using union, because you cannot confirm that source will have the same column name. Excuse me.
Hmm.
Right? So the source will not have the same column names every time. Right? In that case, you cannot use union.
Okay.
Right? You have to use join every time. Most of the times, 90% of the times, you have to use join, and
Hmm.
you have to specify a condition, um, that what is the join that I have to use. I mean, inner join or left join or outer join, right? Merge something, correct?
Hmm. Okay.
So it's like that. Any other questions we have? And second task to you is, go to internet and browse about inner join, left outer join, and full outer join. Outer join or full outer join. This will be in a SQL format. I mean SQL. I mean SQL. SQL in the sense SQL. Analyze something, or do your research on on these three join types. I have already told you how an inner join does work. If the left and right columns matches or the data matches, then only you will be able to see the output. Otherwise, you won't be able to see any output. That is the purpose, or that is the actual logic behind the inner join. Okay. Now, do some research on left outer join and outer join as well. Outer is nothing but full outer. Full outer or outer, both are same. Don't get confused. Maybe in internet they will call it as full outer or something. Outer join, left outer join. Outer or full outer, both are same. Okay. Left outer join. These two, do some research on that. I will let you know on the merge. Okay. Moving forward. So if I keep ascending order, and then uh, push the data. It was earlier failing, if you remember. As I have the error view, the data is going to the error view, and it has given me some error. Not ascending order, employee ID, these two are not matching. The value is 201 and the value here is empty. Value is coming as empty, but the data is coming as 201. You are saying to perform a join on ascending order, but the data is not coming up as it. Earlier it was failing, it is not now, because we have kept this option, route error data to error view. But if you put it to stop pipeline execution, then it will fail. Okay. As we have kept the option of I have removed the stop pipeline execution. Remember that whenever there is this option setup, stop pipeline execution, then only Snap will fail into red. Okay, but if we change to any of these two, like route error data to error view, in the sense there will be an error view open and the data will be sent to that. That will be in a green, but an N2 mark will be set on the Snap. Okay, discard error data and continue. Whenever there is a failure, this option says that, let's say if there are 10 records and 2 records are failing, what this join will do is, if we put this, join will give you the give you the output, even that green color will be able to see. But the problem here is there will be a missed records. Whenever there is an error identified, the join will just, or any snap in the sense, these options will be will be there in every snap. So what the snap will do is, it will just not send that data to the output, or it will not show in an error, that red color in the snap, or it will not send to the error view because we have not checked that condition. Okay, so that is the purpose of this discard error data and continue. As the name suggests, it is just discarding that error data and it is continuing with the process. Now, if I keep this route error data to error view, as the name suggests, routing the error data to error view. If I just kept it and if I save it, it will open me an error view. See, the name of this view is error 0. Okay, whenever I validate it now, if there is a failure, it will go to the error view. Make sense? Able to identify? So now our scenario is, I want to perform the join on an ascending order, but the problem here is the data is coming up in an unsorted way. Whenever I want to perform a join, it was failing, but I don't want this to be failed, right? I want this to be working as expected. So we have already discussed a snap wherein we can put it in a certain order. What is that snap?
Sure.
Yeah. So what we do here is, for the both output views of the target, or before the input views of the join, we have to perform the sorting operation externally. Okay, we have to perform this sorting option externally before sending it to the join snap. So here, what is the column that I have used? This one, right? I have to use the same column here. Okay, keep it in ascending order. And likewise, what is the column I have used here? Keep it in sorting order, and the data should be in ascending. And now, if I just validate it, it will provide me the result. These 3 records, we are seeing it anyway, because 198, 199, 200 records are not there from source 2. Source 1 does have records, but source 2 does not have records. See, it has not failed. Or to show you correctly, okay, I will just remove this error view. You will be able to identify it clearly. If I just validate it now, you will be able to see the results clearly or properly, right? So here data is coming as 100, and here is the 100th record. Here is the 100th record. Okay, so if one thing you need to remember is, or it's a suggestion from the SnapLogic itself, whenever you use join and the options within the join is either inner join, left outer join, or outer, you have to use a ascending order or descending order only. Okay, the sorted stream should be either one of these two. It should not be unsorted, and we have to use an external sort snaps to perform the sorting order and then send the data to the join. Okay, it's a standard that is being suggested by the SnapLogic, that perform the sorting before, then send the data to the join, so that the memory consumption will be less. I will tell you why the memory consumption will be less. So if I keep it unsorted, before joining, without having sort snap, what join has to does is it has to look for the combination in each data set, right? It might take some memory and then perform the join. It might take some memory and then give you the operations, right? It might take some memory. So total 3 operations it is doing. If we send a data without sorting a data, in the sense in a unsorted mode, it has to do 3 options where it will consume this memory set, and this will be an impact. If the data set is high, this will be an impact on the CPU and the memory. So what is the suggestion now? Eliminate the first step, in the sense matching. That first step that join snap is doing is it is trying to find out where the record is. Let's say if the record is at 100 position, it has to go all down to 100 and then match it and keep it to the first place, right? So to eliminate that doing of that such of transaction, we are externally performing a sorting wherein all the records will be sorting, and the 100th record will be at the 100 place, right? And then perform the join. Then join does not have to look for the 100th record where it is, and something that looking thing join does not need to worry about it, because the record will be at first place, because we have sorted it in an ascending order. The numbers goes from low to high, so 100 will be here and 200 will be at last. So join will necessarily know that, okay, I can do direct mapping from left path to right path. I can do direct mapping because the data is already joined, right? We are able to perform the join already. Okay, that is the suggestion, that we have to perform the sorting before the join operation itself, so that the data will be in a sorted format and the output will be the way that is expected. Okay, that's where the suggestion from the snap logic is to put or use any one of the sorted streams, then perform the sorting operation before the snap itself, to reduce the consumption of memory and the CPU on the snap legs, so that the other pipelines will run without any failures, or this pipeline will not turn into an issue or an error in future when the data is used or the data set is high. For now, we are dealing with only 50 records or 100 records, right? But in real-time scenario, you will be able to see millions and millions of records. 1 million equal to 10 lakhs, right? 10 lakh records, 20 lakh records, something like this. That's where I'm saying 1 million and 2 million. Make sense? That's where we have to use ascending order, descending order without putting it to unsorted, because if the data set is high, the memory consumption of join will increase, and the output time of each of the snap will also increase, and the expected time of completion of this pipeline may be at 10 minutes. It might take 30 minutes or 40 minutes, because 30 minutes more it is running because of the setting that we have kept here unsorted, and in turn it will just consume the memory and CPU there in the snaplex, and then the performance of the pipeline will also get reduced, and we will be not in a position to push this pipeline to the real-time environment or the production, because performance issues or memory congestions will not be we will not be able to push those. So that will be a final problem. Okay, from zero to last, we have to keep everything in mind while we were developing. The main thing that we have to understand is whether this snap will consume more memory or not. If it is consuming, or if it does has any option like this, so it will definitely consume more memory. Whenever you see this memory threshold, there will be a memory consumption by the snap. Then you have to think accordingly, or have your settings accordingly in this settings tab, so that it will not increase the consumption of the CPU and memory on the snap legs. Okay, make sense? So likewise, if I want to do it to descending order, and one thing we need to keep it in mind is we have to keep the two source system in the same sorting order. We cannot keep one in ascending and two in descending. The snap might not fail or it may fail, but the results won't be in a way it is expected. Okay, make sense? It has again failed. Why? Because the data is coming up in or descending order, right? But the value or the performance or the sorted stream that we have kept it is in ascending order. That's where it has failed. So now I will keep it to descending order because the input is in descending order. Then I will validate it. The results are expected. I mean, the expected results will come. 205 has came first because we have used descending order, right? And the nulls and everything will go down because descending order will be from highest to lowest. Make sense? Any questions on these two snaps? We still have to discuss about left outer join and the outer join. I want you to, I will let you know the merge. This is something related to snap logic, but these three are general. These three are everywhere. Inner join, I have already told you. Just do some research on left outer and outer and let me know. That is one task. And the other task is try using a union and you have different columns in that and see what union will give you as an output. It will not fail. It will give you the result, but it will give you a different result. The way that you expected is not the one that is there. So it will be a different result. Okay. Any questions? Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. So I have a question for you. So were you able to identify one thing here? If I use join, the data is joining to the right. If you remember, I showed you employee ID and then to the right, the data is being joining. But if I use union, I said both are used to combine. But are they performing the same way that I said? The data is coming to the right if I use join. But if I use union, does the data is coming in the way that I told you? I mean, is it appending to the right or is it coming up to the below? It is just adding to the next 50 records that it has. So one thing we need to identify, that's where I am saying that we should be having a same column set when we want to use the union. Union, what it will does is it will just combine or add the data set to the other data set. In the sense, it will just append the first 50 records to the second 50 records. In the sense, source 150 records to source to this 50 records one after another. It will not give you a different columns. But if you see the output of the join earlier, what it has done, it has given the data to the right. What it is doing, it is actually performing the combining option where it is joining the records vertically. I mean, if you just assume yourself in your mind that in your left hand there is a source 1 data set of 50 records and in your right hand there is this source 2 records of 50 records. If you just get those to your hands or if you just combine, okay, that will be your record set. If you use join, left side records will combine to the right side, the data will be in a horizontal plane, right? But what union will do is first left side hand data it will take first and then right hand data will put it at low or below that. So first 50 records will come at first and then second source system data will be coming at last. So you will have 100 records as an output if you use union and you will have 50 records only in the output if you use join. So that is the difference. Able to identify that? Just assume yourself, take your two hands. In your left hand is the source 1 data of 50 records. In your right hand, there is source 2 records of 50 records. Just combine them together and you will be able to see only 50 records because they have combined. And if I use, this is the join operation. Even if I use left outer or outer, this will be the join operation. There may be many number of records, but left data will combine with the right data. Okay, the data will be in a horizontal plane. But if I use union, first will 50 records will come first, and then second records will come first, second at last. So a total of 100 records will be there. Okay, that is the difference. Okay, the data will be in a vertical plane if you use union. The data will be in a horizontal plane if you use join. Any questions we have? Okay. So after this union, after the sorting of data, we see that there are a lot of duplicate records, right? For our example, what we have done is we have taken the same data file, right? But the data should not be duplicated at the target system, correct? So in that case, what we do is we basically go to the output and see each and every column of that record has same data. So let's say if I say these two records are duplicated, I will see each and every column. Is there any difference or not? Is there any difference or not? I identify that there is no difference. So I feel that this is a duplicate data, and if there is a duplicate data or the data repeated multiple times, I won't be sending those duplicate data. Instead, I have to send the unique records. Then I have a snap called unique, where it will just, there will be no settings here, views and info. It will be same like union. There will be no settings. It says that eliminates duplicate documents in the duplicate document stream. So one thing we need to remember is each and every record, each and every column in these two records should be same. Then only unique will work. Otherwise, unique will not work. So first thing before adding the unique snap, what we have to identify is whether the two columns that we have, two records that we have identified has the same column data. The data is same or not. See here it is 90, 90, 24,000, 24,000. And I think every record, duplicated record, has the same column data. So in that sense, if I apply unique and if I just validate it, so if I go and see now, see there is only 100. Can you see another, another 100? What unique has done is it has removed the duplicated data, and instead of two records, it has only given me one record. So unique will remove that one record if and only if every column data in those two records, or maybe three records or four records, any number of records, if we identify that the data is duplicated or the data is common, then only it will be able to identify only one record out of those duplicate records. That is the purpose of unique snap. This is just a direct option, or there is nothing much to brainstorm on this. It is just a simple snap wherein it is eliminating if there are multiple records with same data, same column data, then it is eliminating that extra record which we feel that it is duplicated. Any question? Any questions we have? Are we able to identify, or are we able to understand what is a unique snap? What does union do? what does join do with inner join? Any questions? So as said, just do your research on having, and let me know tomorrow that having different column names in the union, and do your research on outer and left outer join, in the sense full outer and left outer join, and let me have your questions tomorrow on these two. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And by this, I'll just take a halt, and we will discuss about this inner join, two other types once you have some idea. And maybe in tomorrow's session itself, I'll try and explain you what is JSON, and we can just take a look at the other snaps which we generally use, or just need a JSON. And I also want everyone to go and research about arrays, because strings, I think most of you have already done some research what are the different functions you can apply. And arrays, same like the way you have done for the strings, go to the functions section and see the array section and see the different methods that are available, and research yourself what is an array and what do you say an array is. Okay, just do your research. That is mandatory, or that is necessary for the JSON, because we might be having an array of JSON objects, so we might need some information on that. So I insist, or I suggest everyone to go and look for the array methods and what is an array. I will let you know the JSON, but other things that you have to do it yourself. Okay, as you have done the way for the string, just do it for the arrays as well, and let me know if you have any questions on that. So there are three things that you need to cover as part of today's, and you might need, array might take time, it won't be done by tomorrow. I understand that it would take some learning for you, so you just need to spend more time on these. And the other two things, you really want to know what are those things, because then only in real time you will be able to understand why do you need the setup that I said. So do your analysis and let me know your questions tomorrow. Okay, so by this I will take a halt, and let me know if you have any questions. I'm open for questions now, so let me know if you have anything. No questions? Everyone, are we good?
I mean, I'm good. Like I have to do some research, so we would have. I would have question for tomorrow.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Maybe we will take first 20 minutes maybe for the question itself, for anything. Okay, I'll mostly answer your questions tomorrow in the first half. Then we will go to the session. Okay, maybe we will put up Q&A tomorrow itself. So we will see. We will plan accordingly. But I will take your questions tomorrow. Anything else, team? Are we good? Are we good to wind up the session then? Prashant, if team has no questions, I think I'm good too.
Yes, Manoj. Yes, sure. Okay. Thank you, team. Thank you, Manoj.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Manoj.
Thank you.
Thank